in the Bible, Isaiah 58 is the fasting chapter. It talks about, the first half of the chapter is basically, this is the wrong fast, the wrong way to fast, basically for selfish reasons.
Welcome back to the Kingdom Fasting Podcast. We're so excited that you're here. We are talking about what is fasting and why should it matter to me. I'm Brianne Sims, an RN.
And I'm Dr. Sam Sims. I'm a nurse anesthesiologist.
And we are talking today about, is there a wrong way to fast? And yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
The short answer is yes, there is. There are many wrong ways to fast.
That's the whole answer.
And so we are here to help you not fast the wrong way.
Yeah. So, especially on longer fasts, one of the things that is a mistake is not taking a multivitamin during your longer fast.
Right.
And all the research that looks at fasting, especially anything over 24 hours, always has people taking a multivitamin. And so we can say definitively, because those show how safe fasting is, we can say that it's safe to fast with a multivitamin.
Right.
And people who have fasted along, one of our first 40-day fasters, Davey, will tell you that he tried to do a long fast without a multivitamin the first time, and he started craving organ meat.
Real bad during
Real bad.
long fast.
You know what organ meat's full of? Vitamins.
Minerals.
Yeah, vitamins and minerals. So it's safe with a multivitamin, so take a multivitamin. It may upset your stomach to take it on your stomach. So there's some strategies with that. You may need to take it with some fasting fuels, or I like to take it with I drink a bunch of water first so it doesn't hit an empty stomach. Yeah. So there's some strategies there. So the next way to not fast is fasting without water or liquid. That's only recommended in religious fasts for very short periods of time. So you should fast with water. And lots of water. You can use fruit-infused water, just don't eat the fruit. But you want anything that is a non-caloric and has no sweeteners, or as low calories as possible. And so actually one of the ones that I like is Spindrift.
Not a sponsor, but they could be.
Yeah, not a sponsor, but they could be. Not currently a sponsor, when we film this episode. She also has Spindrift. So it does have a little bit of calories, but it's such a small amount, you're going to be fine. It's just natural fruit. And there's no artificial flavors, no natural flavors. It's actually just real fruit juice and some sparkling water. So it's probably the best fasting fuel that you can buy that not make yourself.
That's not just plain water.
Not plain water, but it has no artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners actually are worse for you than regular sweeteners or sugar. Another thing you can have besides water, if you want something else, you can have some coffee or some tea or some iced tea.
Yep, I like to drink tea when I'm fasting.
So good. All right, fasting fuel. You can add a little cream to it too, or some oat milk or something like that, but make sure that you don't have any sugar. Some fat, because fat will increase your insulin. So, and then one of the teas I really like is cinnamon tea, because cinnamon is actually an appetite suppressant. So cinnamon tea is actually really nice to have. You can have it hot or cold, and both those are really good. And you can make some homemade bone broth. Those are also good choices to have if you don't want just water.
While you're fasting, as far as fluids go.
Yep. Yes. In the Bible, Isaiah 58 is the fasting chapter. It talks about, the first half of the chapter is basically, this is the wrong fast, the wrong way to fast, basically for selfish reasons. And Acts has an example of a selfish fast when Paul is captured and he's in prison, and these zealots, I guess, go to the high priest and say, we're not going to eat or drink until we kill Paul. And then 5 days later, obviously, at some point, they gave up on that because he's still alive in 5 days. And the high priest shows up just to talk to him. So obviously that didn't work out. So you can't fast for selfish reasons, nor can you force God to do what you want to do by fasting. So,
right. God cares about the attitude of your heart while you're fasting. And he likes to be involved in your reasons for fasting and how you're fasting and what you're fasting from and all of those things. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Another wrong way to fast can be telling everyone.
Yeah.
It's more socially acceptable now to fast. People have come to terms with it, and a lot of people do it. But
there's still a lot of wrong ideas out there about fasting.
Sure, absolutely. We talked about it in the very first episode of it. It's not starving yourself.
Bothers people, yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to tell people. When I did my 40-day fast, I went to work. I think only 8 people knew while I did it.
Yeah. And
most people didn't even find out until I was around day 20. So a lot of people won't even know. Especially at work, they're not at your house. They don't know if you skip breakfast. If you work through lunch, you're a hard worker, and they're not going home with you, so they're never eating dinner.
And there is some examples about this in the Bible too. Like, you know, Jesus talks about how the Pharisees like put on sackcloth and ashes, and like everyone knew that they were fasting, and he was like, yeah, like, and so he said, no, you've already received your reward because you are doing that for basically man's applause, like human
accolades.
Humans, yes, accolades. And so he was like, that's not the way to fast. And so he was like, you know, wash your face and look nice and be fine and do this unto me and not unto others for their applause. And so yeah, just again, like, God sees the attitudes of our hearts, and he cares about that when we're fasting.
Yeah, and so sometimes that way, if I am fasting, it's like, you know, people won't know, and like, well, hey, would you like to? And I go, no, actually, I'm fasting, and it's like, okay, but that leads me to the next thing.
Yeah.
Don't use fasting as an excuse not to participate.
Yes.
So if it's your anniversary, well, I'm going to fast on my anniversary, or you're showing up to your grandma's house you haven't seen in 5 years, and she bakes you cookies, I'll be like, I'm fasting. I know you eat your grandma's cookies. Okay, if you're on vacation, you know, sometimes it's easy to fast on vacations in some aspects where, like, we'll sleep in and skip breakfast. That's an easy way to fast, but don't miss out on the experiences because you're fasting.
And connecting with people. Yeah. I mean, God does care about us celebrating and connecting with people over food. That's why there's feasts in the Bible. Like, that is a good thing sometimes.
He does ordain feasts in the Bible, yes.
Yes, and so it's okay to celebrate. So, yeah, definitely a wrong way to fast is if you're avoiding people and celebrations and things because of fasting.
Yeah.
So
another wrong idea is believing you can't fast. On the next episode, we'll talk who shouldn't fast. But for the most part, most people can fast. And being hangry is not on the list of reasons you can't fast.
Yeah, I know that's hard to believe, but...
Yeah, I get hungry. That's because you actually haven't been fasting. That we can fix that, and we can reset those hormones.
Yeah.
But believing we can't fast is actually incorrect, or that it's too hard. In fact, when you try it, most people are amazed about how easy it is, how good they feel.
It's shocking that you feel fine without food.
Yeah,
because it's counterintuitive to what we're taught.
And the truth has been basically hiding in plain sight. And oh, by the way, you have the genetics of people who didn't know when they got their next meal. So all of your genetics are based on people who survived by fasting for days.
Right, exactly. And here's the thing. God knows everything. He knew in advance that he was going to ask us to fast. And so he created our bodies to fast. He created us.
For our benefit?
Yes.
And it's scientifically proven?
It's scientifically proven, yes, and spiritually proven. Breakthroughs happen when you fast, and there are benefits to being obedient to God. There just always is. Like, he created us that way. So you were created to fast, and you can fast.
And then one of the things I will talk about is you'll find you can have some of these things. We talk about fasting fuels, and we're going to go into more details later. But using fasting fuels basically because you can have them. Well, I'm fasting, but I can also have this. And so
I'm going to have it.
So I'm going to have it. Like, I'm going to have this because I can. That's you know, these are not cheats. It's I'm feeling hungry, so I'm gonna have a fasting fuel so I can keep fasting. Not I'm fasting, but also I can have these fasting fuels, so I'm going to have them. You know, using them when you don't need them.
Right, exactly.
And it's easy to get. I've fallen into that too. You know, on my 40-day fast, I had some fast fuels when I didn't need them, and I felt actually kind of guilty about it, and so the next day I didn't have any. But so don't. If you're trying to do it for your benefit, we have all these ways and tools to help you do it, but also recognize that they're not meant. These tools aren't meant to be. They're tools, not rules, but not meant to use them to cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bigger purpose to your fasting.
Exactly. So I hope this has been informative for you on the wrong ways to fast. And we're going to keep talking about the right way to fast and help you achieve your fasting goals. So thanks for joining us, friends, and we will see you next time.
Next episode is on who shouldn't fast. Spoiler alert. Hangry isn't on the list.
Yeah, we did mention that. If this is helpful to you, we would love it if you send it to a friend and shared it. That's an awesome way to help us spread the joy of fasting.